Hello everyone. Today I'm going to explain how to create a local observation in OpenTEK. I'm Paulina from the rural areas around Barcelona. I grow, harvest and sell tomatoes for over 20 years. However, I grow them longer than my parents used to do, possibly due to climate change impacts. How we create a local observation? I'm going to show you. When we enter via opentek.eu, we press the button Create Entry and get to the page to create a new local observation. We need to answer a few questions about our observation. Let's do this one by one. We start with a short and summarizing title and describe our observation. The title could be Tomatoes in November. The description: we can now grow tomatoes in November. Before it would have not been possible. There are more warm days than before. The summer lasts longer. After that, we answer who made the observation. There are 5 options to choose from. You can select multiple options, but some options exclude others. For example, when you select only me, the other options are not selectable. I have made this observation myself, but I know all the neighbors have observed the same. Also, there was an article in the news about this. So I select a lot of local people and a few foreign people. Next, we have to classify the observation. There are many categories of changes. The selection is structured so you can find the right classification step by step. In the description of this video is a link to another page that explains the classification in a bit more detail. First, we choose the category that is most suitable for the 4 main systems. We then select the subsystem and decide which climate change impact category fits our observation. Tomatoes are part of the economic system because they are grown in agriculture. I select social, economic, culture system and subsystem agriculture. The type of impact I observed is related to the cropping season, so I select cropping season and increase in length. Once that is done, we note when we notice that change. We have several options from which we need to choose the one that fits best. I have observed this happens in the last 10 years. So in this case, 0 to 15 years will be the best option. If you are not sure, you can select I don't know. Following, we can detail our observation by naming the drivers of this change that we know. A driver is a cause for the observation that we know about. Drivers can be climate change observations, so we can select as many as we need following the same classification as before. However, in this case, you don't need to be so specific and can leave the classification earlier. The climatic factors that are driving this observation are changes in temperature and changes in the climatic season. For the first one, I click on Add Driver and the classification will show up. I select the climatic system and temperature subsystem. I can stop here by clicking on Done. For the second driver, I click the Add Driver button again and select climatic, then seasons, then season characteristics, and finally increase in duration. I can also add images. In some cases, this might be helpful to understand the observation better, but they are not required. I will skip this. Everybody knows how tomatoes look like. Lastly, I need to locate my observation and choose from searching the location or selecting it on the map. I will roughly pin the location near the village where I'm living. I don't want to give the details of my place. There are several ways to protect the exact location of your observation. By default, it publicly shows a random point 50 kilometers around where I clicked. I am fine with that option. Great, the observation has now all the information it needs: title, description, observer, observation classification, timing, driver of change, and the location. When you are registered and logged in, you can specify the license of your entry and decide if you want to publish it publicly. When you set the privacy to private, you can still grant other people you know access to it. Since I already registered and logged in, I can directly submit the entry by hitting the Submit button and it will show up on the map. You can also submit an entry without registering, but then the entry needs to be verified by somebody before it gets published.